Welcome, dear listeners, to a tale that begins with a simple piece of jewelry but unravels into a journey filled with secrets, heartbreak, and unexpected discoveries. Imagine inheriting a necklace from your mother only to be warned never to open it. Words lost in the whirlwind of emotions on her deathbed. Now picture this. 27 years later, curiosity gets the better of you, and the truth hidden within that necklace changes everything you thought you knew about your past. If you've ever wondered how the smallest objects can hold the biggest mysteries, then settle in, because this story will take you on an unforgettable ride through time, memory, and redemption. Stay with me as we uncover what lies beneath. 27 years ago, when Anna's mother laid on her deathbed, she left her this necklace which belonged to Anna's grandmother before that. As she handed over the necklace, she told her, "Never open this necklace, Anna. It only brings trouble." But in the middle of all the emotions, those words didn't land in Anna's brain. 27 years later, when she brought the necklace to a jeweler who opened it, all she could do was scream. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. You see, a large part of Anna's life had been very difficult by anyone's usual standards, particularly her childhood, which had a heavy focus on surviving as opposed to thriving. And Anna would carry the memories and mental scars from that time for years after she had left it all behind her. Anna was born into a poor family in a city where the quality of life was very dependent on one's financial situation. With her parents barely managing to make ends meet even before she was born, the addition to the family did not help the situation and had even more negative consequences. Besides a lack of money, the birth of Anna had seemed to change the dynamic of the once so loving relationship between the couple. While Anna's father, John, seemed dead set on giving his daughter the best life possible by working his ass off and spending all his free time with her and his mother, Dorothy seemed to take a different approach to parenting. That is, if you can even call her actions parenting. And after being seemingly very excited to become a parent, she quickly lost all interest in her child after the birth. After a while, she didn't even look at Anna's direction anymore, or acknowledge her existence. Well, but that was not the only thing she lost interest in. When he woke up one morning, John noticed that Dorothy was not in her bed. This was unusual, as she would normally sleep in. He started to look around the house, waking Anna up in the process. Nothing in the house seemed to be out of place, but Dorothy was nowhere to be found. After having searched the house, John and Anna, who was around 8 at this time, started going around the neighborhood asking if anyone had seen Dorothy leave that night. They got lucky with a neighbor who lived across the street from them and had gotten home from a late shift around 1 a.m. The neighbor told them that around 1:30 he had seen Dorothy leave the house with no belongings or anything and wait for a while inside the street. After about 5 or 10 minutes, a luxury car pulled up in front of her. The driver stepped out and opened the car door for Dorothy and bowed when she entered the vehicle. After this, they sped away. After recovering from the first shock that this message had caused, John started to notice that something was seemingly off with the letter. It was handwritten, but it was not Dorothy's own handwriting. It also had words he had never heard his wife use before. With these suspicions, John went to the police again, but didn't get the answer he was hoping for. The police informed him that they saw this letter as a valid explanation of why his wife left, because it made sense alongside the neighbor's story of her being picked up in a luxury car. The police told John that they would have to close the investigation, which in truth had never even really started. Not a single fiber in John's body wanted to give up the search for his wife and the search for answers, but he was now left with an impossible dilemma. But this situation remained unchanged for a couple of years, and both father and daughter were finding their groove within it more and more in that time. They got no more information about Dorothy and were slowly starting to forget about her, and with her fading from John's mind, another woman eagerly made use of this opportunity. John got into a new relationship with a beautiful young woman, and they seemed to fall head over heels in love with each other. But it didn't take long for her and her son to move in with John and Anna. John expected this to be the start of a great new chapter in his life, but he would turn out to be very wrong about this. While John and his new girlfriend clicked so well, this was not the case for Anna. She had a frigid relationship with her new stepmother. One day the doorbell rang in the middle of the day when Anna was home alone. Her father was at work, and her stepmother was getting groceries with her son. Kenna opened the door and was presented with a small package. It had no return address on it, and the delivery driver also had no idea where it came from. Anna quickly opened it. The package contained 3 items: a letter addressed to Anna, a beautiful, expensive-looking necklace fully loaded with diamonds, and a framed photo of someone who Anna kind of recognized as her mother wearing the very same necklace as in the package. Still confused, Anna opened the letter and started reading. The letter was very short and factual. It stated that Dorothy had passed away 2 months ago and that the funeral had already taken place, though it didn't state where the body was buried. The letter ended by explaining that the items in the box were what Dorothy had left Anna in her will. Anna was still determined to get out of the house as quickly as possible, but her biggest issue with this was that she had no money. So she thought that if this necklace was half as valuable as it looked, then maybe she could sell it and get enough money from it to finance her new life. This necklace, alongside the frame photo, was the only thing she had left of her mother, and in all likeliness, all she would ever have. Was getting out of the house now worth more to her than the memory of her mother? Dylan sure. She decided that there was no harm in getting it appraised first to see if there even was a decision to be made. Anna took the necklace to the local jewelry store to get an idea of how much it was worth. The employee took the necklace in the back to look at it and was away for a very long time. It took almost an hour before he was able to get back to Anna, but he came to a very odd conclusion about the necklace. The jeweler told Anna that the whole necklace was fake. A good fake, but a fake nonetheless. It was almost exclusively made of cheap metals and glass. Now, this in itself was not that weird. He had fake jewelry come into the store almost daily. But there was something about this fake that really stood out to him. The jeweler was able to pay a decent price for the stone, but not quite enough for Anna to move out. She would have to save up some more money. And upon hearing her story, the jeweler actually offered Anna a job helping out around the store. Everything seemed to finally go right for Anna, but this fortune wasn't long-lived. Anna's home situation was not improving whatsoever. In fact, it was getting worse. The arguments with her stepmother only seemed to be happening more frequently as time went on, and they were growing more violent. One night it just became too much for Anna, especially because it wasn't just her stepmother hurting her anymore. So Anna expected her father to come to her aid, but he did nothing about it. She packed her bags that evening and snuck out of the house without telling anybody. That very night she had no place to go to and decided to sleep in the park. The next day she quit her job at the jewelry store and hopped on a bus that would take her as far away as possible. At the restaurant she worked, there was a young chef who Anna seemed to hit it off with from the very moment the two of them met. But the young chef, Thomas, kept trying, and eventually Anna was comfortable around him. Mullet and the new couple moved in together after only a couple of months. They knew they were destined to spend eternity together. The more the pair built their life together, the more Anna seemed to forget about what all she had left behind. Anna had stored everything that reminded her about her childhood in a box deeply hidden away in the basement. It had been there for so long. Anna had almost completely forgotten about it. So when the pair and their newly born children were moving to a bigger house, finding the box again came as a shock to Anna. Anna was 43 at this time, and it had been almost 27 years since she left everything behind. She felt strong enough to open this box again and let some of the memories come back to her. When opening the lid, the first thing she noticed was the big fake necklace her mother had left her. Luckily, Anna herself had no serious injuries and got off with only a few bruises and scratches. But her mother's old necklace, which she had been wearing at the time, was in pieces on the ground below her. Anna was on the verge of crying, but then she noticed something between the pieces of the big pendant. She reached for it and picked up a small key. Anna's first thought was if this key may have already been on the ground and her necklace just happened to fall on top of it. But this thought was quickly cast aside when Anna read what was written on the side of the key, and her whole world stopped for a second. There was a sticker with her name written on it stuck to the key. So many questions popped into Anna's head. How did this key get into the pendant? Written on the back of the picture is a series of numbers. Anna didn't recognize what these could be and decided to take the picture upstairs and ask her husband. She first explained the whole situation to him, and his jaw dropped. Then Thomas took a look at the picture and the numbers on the back, but unlike Anna, immediately recognized what the numbers were. The numbers were coordinates. The couple quickly turned on the computer to find out where the coordinates would lead to, and to their surprise, the coordinates appeared to be pointing to a nearby city, the city Anna and Thomas used to live in before they moved. The couple arrived just 20 minutes before closing time, and Anna sprinted out of the car while Thomas still looked for a parking spot. She could not wait any longer. There was nobody in the lobby of the building when she entered, except for a concierge and one employee behind the counter, twiddling his thumbs. As Anna approached the employee and almost slammed the key on the table, startling the distracted employee, Anna asked him if this key was issued by them and if it could open maybe a safe for something here. The employee didn't immediately recognize the key, but then Anna told him her name. He typed it into the computer and quickly got a result back. There was a safe reserved and prepaid for a time span of 50 years with them under Anna's name, and the instructions were that anybody with the key was to be allowed to take out its contents. The employee took the key from Anna to inspect it. He removed the sticker that had Anna's name written on it, revealing the number under it. It matched with the number that was linked to the entry that he had found in his database. Anna's heart started to beat faster as the employee stood up from his desk. For years, she had barely thought about her mother and had assumed that she had not really ever cared about her, but she knew that whatever was behind the door of this safe could change that perspective forever. With shaky hands and pounding heart, Anna turned the key and opened the safe. Inside the safe, which was one of the biggest in the room, were a couple of smaller cardboard boxes bound together and a letter taped on top. This could be what Anna had been looking for, an explanation for every question that she had never gotten an answer to. Anna opened the letter and started reading. The letter was long, but every word in it was important to Anna. The letter started with an apology from her mother for not being there when she was growing up and leaving in the manner in which she did. The day Anna was born had been a joyous occasion for her, but it would turn out to be the beginning of a very dark chapter in her life. She was overwhelmed by the pressure of having to raise a child and fell into depression because of it, and as a result, her relationship with Anna's father quickly went downhill. She had foolishly agreed to this and was picked up by him without her husband's or Anna's knowledge that fateful night. But she would quickly realize that she had made a big mistake, as the man had no intention of ever reuniting Anna and her. He was treating her any better than her husband had. The men were taking advantage of her fragile mental state at that point, but he had not counted on Dorothy's determination to get the best for her daughter, despite the danger she would put herself in. After a couple of years in this terrible situation, she had come up with a plan. She had found out the code to the safe, and on a night when the man was away, she emptied it and fled the house. After finding out that Anna had moved, she arranged everything with the local bank and had the key be put into the necklace. Opening the boxes, they indeed found the money described in the letter, but the couple didn't really seem to care about it. They didn't need the money, they were happy with their lives, and taking it just didn't feel right. After talking for a little bit, they came to a decision as to what to do with it. They want to donate all the money to charities, and specifically to a charity dedicated to helping people with depression, and or to a charity helping women in similarly bad situations as Dorothy had been in with her father and the man from which he stole the money. It felt like the only right thing to do. They set everything up with the bank employee so that the money could go directly to the charities, and after that they set out on their way home. But not before making one more stop. The bank employee had looked a bit deeper into their archives while Anna and Thomas were in the safe and found something interesting. Anna and Thomas parked the car. The sun was starting to set. The couple walked towards where the coordinates led them. It was a graveyard, and they quickly found the gravestone which they had been looking for. It was a simple stone, and all that was written on it was the date of birth, passing, and a name. Dorothy. Knowing where her mother was buried was when she could have ever left her into his siege. He was able to pay her the final respect that she deserved, even if she was decades too late with it. The couple stood there for about an hour before returning home, and Anna vowed to come back here at least once a year on her mother's birthday.